just out of morbid curiosity, because you have a fun story. What initially drew you to Tupperware, and how did you get started in this business? Because you've got kind of a fun story, so
Oh my gosh.
tell everybody.
I, Hi everyone. I got into Tupperware. I had just been finishing up chemo. I was breast cancer and I had to go through, um, surgery and chemo and radiation and reconstruction and all this medicine. And I wanted to get back into the workforce. I was six figures. I wanted to make my money back.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Tup Talk with Kirsten. I'm here today with my friend Lynn. Lynn is one of the leaders on my team, and she's kind of amazing, kind of fun. She loves to do fun things called Coffee with Lynn. If you ever see her online, you're going to see her talking about coffee. She makes some pretty awesome coffees. But today I thought we would just come and just talk a little tup and talk a little nonsense, have a little fun. So I've got some fun questions for you, Lynn, so you can tell the world who you are. Um,
Go for
my
it.
my first one is just out of morbid curiosity, because you have a fun story. What initially drew you to Tupperware, and how did you get started in this business? Because you've got kind of a fun story, so
Oh my gosh.
tell everybody.
Hi everyone. I got into Tupperware. I had just been finishing up chemo. I was breast cancer and I had to go through, um, surgery and chemo and radiation and reconstruction and all this medicine. And I wanted to get back into the workforce. I was six figures. I wanted to make my money back. And nobody would hire me. And I was like, okay, what can I do? Okay, I heard direct sales, you can make a lot of money in it. And why not me? So I was talking to a girlfriend, just like I'm talking to Kirsten right now. And I said, you know, I haven't put makeup on in 18 months. So I'm not going to go sell makeup. I'm not going to tell Kirsten to put makeup on if I'm not wearing makeup. Oh, no, then you got to wear this. No, I'm not going to do that. And then jokingly, I said, God, I wonder if Tupperware's still around. And your phone's listening because then all of a sudden I get invited to a Facebook Tupperware party. And I went, oh, that looks kind of fun. I'm going to click on it. And so I joined this Tupperware party from a classmate in junior high that I found on Facebook. And so I'm doing all of these questions. Now you got to remember, I was on 11 medications, 11 pill bottles that I was taking. And at the time, my husband said, oh, you're in a Tupperware party. Look at you. You can do something constructive on Facebook instead of just scrolling through Facebook for hours. And I go, oh, I know the answers to everything, because I grew up with Tupperware. And so then I'm reading this little blurb of how to join Tupperware. And it was like $99 back then. And you could have three payments to, put $30 down and then 33 or 30, whatever. It was just like, can't remember. And so I texted the consultant that was running, the hostess that was running the party, the consultant. And I says, I think I want to join this. And so she was like, do you want the payment plan? I go, no, I'm just going to pay the $99. I want the big kit. I got $450 worth of Tupperware. And I was so excited. And being from sales background that I am, this big giant box arrives at my house in like 5 days. And I open it up and there's all this product. And I went, oh, what's this little tiny box in here? Well, that's the gold right there, because it told me how I was going to get paid. It was going to tell me how to run my business, how to do this. And I knew if I read that and it says do two parties a week and make $500, sell $500 at each party. And I'm like, Oh,
I could
okay.
do that, right?
I can do that. And then I said, oh, well, if they only want me to do two, what happens if I did five
Right?
or seven or, and then I found myself doing 7 to 9 parties, and I went, oh my gosh, this is too much. I'm on, finishing up my radiation. I'm on 11 medications. I'm just a drool cup around my neck. But you know what? I could copy and paste. I
Right.
could copy, paste, and follow what the other leaders were doing. I mean, how you can't, don't recreate the wheel. Direct sales, they know what works.
Right.
So do what your leaders are doing.
Right.
And so that's what I started doing. I don't go to, oh, what works today? Oh, I already tried that. Let me go. I go back and do what the leaders say to do.
Honestly, it's the basics of it is I think sometimes people get too wild out there and then can't figure out why nothing's working. I'm like, go back to the basics. It's not
Go
this
back.
isn't a hard business. This is not a hard business. You
Exactly. You just go
hold a
back to the
Tupperware
basics.
party, you get 10 friends to each place a $50 or more order, you're making
Yeah.
money. Like you do 2 to 5 of those a week and you're making really good money, right? Like just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started doing Tupperware parties, you started making
Yep.
money, right?
Yep.
While on medicine, finishing chemo. Like I don't love that you were having to go through chemo, but I love that you were able to like literally do something fun in the midst of all of the yuck in your world
I
and
could
feel
get out of my head
right and not.
and do something fun.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes in life you're in spaces where you do need just something, like something fun,
It,
a community. And what it attached you to that you probably had no idea was going to be part of it was this beautiful online community of friends that we've met all over the US, right? Like,
across the United States, my background was a man's world,
yeah,
working in the sales of office equipment. There, the company that I worked for, there was only 3 women that worked there. The rest were all men
yeah,
across the United States,
yeah,
and I was always in the top 5. And what I learned from Tupperware or from Rock On is women were cool.
yeah, right?
Yeah,
Women are kind of
they
badass.
had my
Let's just
back.
say
They
it.
weren't
Yeah.
just backbiting. They
Hmm.
weren't, at least the ones that I surround myself with,
Right.
because people, you attract the same attraction.
Karma's real, attraction's real,
Yes.
confidence is contagious, all the things, right?
Yes. Yes.
100%. So, walk me through maybe just like not maybe the long version, but kind of the short, but not crazy short version of your journey to become a leader. So you started holding these Tupperware parties, but then you were like, hey, I want something more, right?
I remember, the person that signed me up, um, I felt like I was passing that person.
Yeah.
Like, because that was my background. I was a born leader.
Yeah.
And so I went to my upline, which was you, and I said, what do I need to do to make money in this business? And she says, well, I've been watching your numbers and you're great at doing parties and turning in your personal sales, but you don't have anybody on your team. And I go, well, what do I have to do? Because nobody's told me what I had to do.
Right.
And you said, go find 3 people. I said, okay.
I could
Well,
do
back
that.
then, you had a Rolodex. I had a Rolodex from when I was selling office equipment. And so I went through my Rolodex.
Yeah.
And I was just calling people that I knew. And I says, hey, you guys know that I went through my cancer treatments. You followed me through that. And I'm now doing Tupperware. And this is the easiest thing I've ever done to make money. And I get to do it on my own hours, laying in bed,
Right.
early in the morning, late at night. I can do it anytime. And Facebook lets you schedule your posts. So it was like perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started. You told me to go get 3 people. So I went and got 3 people. And I says, okay, now what? You said, go get 3 more
I was
people.
just gonna say my answer is always either go get 3 more, right?
And I went, Okay, so I would come back with three more, and you go, okay, did you get them to $500? Did you get them to $500? So to this day, I still have it in my head. It's $500. It's not $100. It's $500.
Yeah. But it's a party. Like, let's run a good party for them. Let's
Yeah,
give them a chance at success. Let's, if you run a good party for somebody and you hand them a couple bookings off of it and you get a, I mean, an average party is 500. Like, that's a good shot at a good start. Like, here you go.
yes.
Now, they've made 100, 150 bucks. They're
That's
feeling.
gas in their car.
Yes. And I had somebody say to me the other day, well, what's $100? And I was like, if you left $100 cash at Walmart when you were checking out and you're walking out, you would run back in there to grab it. $100 is $100. And then
Yeah,
she was like, oh, you're right. I'm like, perspective, right? I think sometimes people don't go like, well, it's $100. I'm like, right. But it's the collection of all the $100 is that matters, right? At the end of the month, there's a big collection, a big pile of all the $100. And it's a lot. You can make really good money. If you want to work this business and be consistent, you can make really good money doing it. I had somebody when they first started say to me, because she had known me in the home party days back when that's all I did, right? You'd had to pack up all your stuff, drive to
yeah,
somebody's house, pull it all out, do a demo, sit and take order, leave. And you can still do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But we've learned how to do in an hour what would take me all night long, right? I could
exactly.
and I could do three of them in the same 3 hours that all of that. And you think of travel time. Sometimes I was driving 45 minutes to a party. Like, I would be gone. I might leave at 5 and not come home till 11 or 12, right? Think about how many parties I could do now in that same time frame. It's crazy, right? Um,
Yes.
but so I had known her in the old days, and then she was coming back to us in the new days, if you will. And she said, Kristen, this feels criminal. I literally just ran 2 Facebook parties. Like, she was running them in Messenger. She goes, while I'm watching NCIS in my pajamas. And I was like, I told you you can do this. She's like, it's not hard. I was like, I told you it's not hard. She kept putting me off. And I was like, would you just try it? You already know Tupperware. You already know, so much of this I don't even have to teach you because you know everything about the product because she told me years before. And so anyway, it's just like, I wish I could scream that from the mountaintops sometimes. Like, this isn't that hard. You can make really good money from your PJs with a glass of wine in your hand if you want to. Like, whatever version of it you want to. If you want to get up and shower and look primo and dress to the hilt while you run that digital, you do you, boo.
Exactly. You do
but
you,
but
boo.
like, I've literally sat in the pickup line to pick up Braxton and been running a party, and then like he got in the car, I drove the 5 minutes home, did the next post. Like, you can do it on the run. Like, it's not that hard.
Exactly.
Because we do Facebook on the run. We do Instagram on the run. We do all this stuff on the run. While we're sitting in the car, you would have been scrolling Facebook anyway. You just wouldn't have been making money, right?
Yep,
I
100%.
and I read a quote the other day that said something like, "We're all selling something. The smart people have just learned how to get paid for it." And I was like, and I'm like, it's not, you're not wrong, right? You get the cutest new jacket, and what do? You post a picture of yourself on it and be like, oh, I just ran into Target and got this thing for $20. It's so cute, but I didn't make any money. I just told you about it, right?
I just told you about it, and you guys all ran to Target.
Right? Right? So, okay, so next question. What is this is my non-Tupperware question, but it's a little bit of my Tupperware question. I mean, I have lots of questions, but what is like your favorite thing? What is your favorite thing to do that's sort of like fun that is not Tupperware related, but maybe Tupperware has maybe the freedom of Tupperware has given you the ability to do it. Like, what do you like to do as a person? Like,
Well,
what?
I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada,
Okay.
the adult capital playground ever. Yeah,
Yes.
really.
I've
So I
experienced
can
it.
go to
Yes.
concerts. I can go out, go gambling if I choose to. I can go to a concert. I can go see whoever at any time. And so I do that. And it's my Tupperware money that I use that for because that's my play money. And then I started going, oh, I'm paying off my credit cards.
Right.
And I was able to pay off, I'm down to 2 credit cards now.
I
And
love
it's
that.
less than probably $4,000 total. And I'll be completely debt free.
I love
You,
that
you know,
so much. I love that so
yeah.
much. There's so many people in the world that, and I take myself back to my younger days. Right. I drove the other day. Do you know these moments? The other day I was driving by we live really close, probably within 2 miles of a townhouse that Kirk and I lived in that we rented before I had kids. So early on in our marriage, not our first place, but I think it was our second place that we lived. But I think we were married for 5 years before I had kids. So it was somewhere in that 5 year. It was the last house before we bought a house, or the last townhouse. And I drove by it, and I just had this little flashback memory of pulling in to the townhouse, right? And I remember at that moment, I just, you know how every once in a while you just have a like flitting thought, and then you just you have a
Uh
like this
huh. Uh huh.
memory floods. The memory flooded in of a girl who didn't know then. We were, I don't even know how many thousands of dollars we were in debt, but it was a lot, 30, maybe 23. I don't even know it. And I didn't see, I wasn't losing my mind over it, but I didn't see a world where weren't going to pay on this for the next 20 years either. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't, we were both working. We had enough money to pay our bills. I was making little incremental progress on the credit cards, but also I wanted to live. So we were still going on vacations and doing things. So you're not making as good a progress because you're trying to live, right? We're not trying to just eat top ramen so that we can, be debt free, but have 3 years of no life because,
Yeah.
like there's that dance, right? And I remember like, I wish I could whisper to that girl, I've got a way. I know how you can do this. Like I didn't know. I didn't know that this was going to come into my world and be the thing that let me make those payments. We paying off our debt, paying all of Kirk's we had, I don't know, he probably had $20,000 in student loans too. Like,
Yeah.
because he had a master's degree. We had just so many things, right? I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling oppressed horribly like some people just take it on. I mean, I could have felt that way. I remember just thinking, well, I'm just going to pay on this for the rest of my life. Like it just felt like I was going to have these bills, but so I didn't see a way out of it. And
Yeah.
I wish I could scream from the rooftops now. I wish I could whisper to that girl so she knew sooner.
Yeah. I
Like,
get people that tell me, Lynn, your story about when you get your credit card statement in the mail and it says negative $100 because I overpaid
yes.
and it's at zero. When I was going through my chemo, it was in 2 years, 180 copays.
Yeah.
That was my copays. That wasn't treatments. And, I lost my 401k. I lost all of that. I'm going to be 65 years old.
Yeah.
And I set myself up in life to be able to enjoy my golden years. And Tupperware has been able to bring that back to me because nobody would rehire me. I couldn't go back out into the workforce. I have side effects from my chemo and radiation.
And I
Yeah.
remember I remember you then, and I remember you were in a lot of pain. There was a lot of things. Like
I
you
was
were
in a
dealing
scooter.
you were dealing with a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I love the Lynn now. I love that you're doing so. I mean, I've always loved your energy, but I'm so happy for you that you're in, like, you're not on all the meds and you're in such a better place. But
I'm
like
on
also I remember that.
zero meds. Zero.
Such a healthier place to be, right?
It
But
is.
I was I was thinking about you. Like you have a son. I know that
I
that
have,
chooses. Well, you have two sons, but I mean, you
yeah.
have one that chooses to live in Mexico.
Yes.
Runs a business in Mexico. He's from the U.S., but he just chooses to run a business in Mexico, so he's
Yes.
residing in Mexico. And I know that what I think is also really cool about this business is that you get in your van and you drive over sometimes, and you'll spend weeks over there with him and have a great time with him, and you can run your business remotely from your computer or your phone but be laying by a pool in Mexico, like living your best life because you can be wherever. And I love that too. Like we're not in the old days, right? You wouldn't have been able to. You'd had to. You would be missing out on 3 weeks of home demos of going into parties. Like we couldn't necessarily. You could, but like you paid for it.
It
Now
was different.
you
Yes.
could run parties from the poolside if you wanted to.
Yes. Right from the pool. All I
Like
have to do is have a snack cup, a mini, whatever, and I could have a party on Facebook
right.
and show people why you need that for when you're traveling.
Well, and
You, you know.
you have another son that doesn't live necessarily super near you, and you have grandkids, and you can decide to go travel and go see your grandkid. Like I love
Yes.
all of that for you. Like I love it for all of us, but I love it. I love, and I think a lot of people, like I said, people don't realize what we do exactly and how easy it is, and that
How
anybody
easy
can
it
do
is.
it.
But you'd ask me, what other things that I do that here, in Las Vegas. My favorite thing, my downtime, when I just go, you know what? I need time for me.
Hmm.
I go out to Lake Mead to Hoover Dam and I take bags and bags of cereal and I go down to the docks and I feed my fish. I call them my fish. They're not really my fish. They belong to the
Yeah.
federal park, but
Right.
they're mine because they come up and eat out of my hands. I can pet them. I can do, crazy things with my fish. And I love it.
She's
And
petting
they just
fish. I
you,
love
you
that
know,
though.
and then I take it all in my big Tupperware bag. And I've had people on the docks ask me, "Oh my God, do you sell Tupperware?" And I go, "Well, yeah, I do." "Oh, do you have your business card?" And I go, "Well, I don't, but here's my
Text me.
digital business
Right.
card."
Let's
That's
text me your number. We'll talk. Right.
yes. And I get that all the time. "Oh, I didn't know Tupperware was still around." Yes. 79 years. We've been around a long time.
I always want to say when I hear that, I'm right here.
I'm right here.
When
And
I
I'll
was
go,
so
"Well,
first
I
flew
haven't
around.
been around for
Yeah.
79 years,
Yeah.
but Tupperware has.
Right. No, I love that. And I love that like you can enjoy the things in life that you want to enjoy wherever you want to enjoy them and still run a business and still be profitable and still like I think that I don't know, I just want to scream that from the rooftops because I think there's a lot of people out there that need to hear that, could use that. The girl that I remember that was driving into that townhouse that didn't see a way out, like she's out there, right?
Yep.
And
Yes.
I wish I could find I mean we are finding her lots of hers, but I want to find her again and again and again. I wish somebody would have showed it to me sooner so that I could have moved faster, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
because we're like I don't know, it's such a beautiful opportunity, it's such a beautiful company. And like we've got this product, that that has more nostalgia than any product I've ever seen out there. Like people see you at the dock and go, "Do you sell Tupperware?" Like we sell something that's easy to sell. Like not hard to sell these things because
Exactly.
people want what we have to offer, and I
Yes.
think that's also like a kind of a big deal in life, if you will.
And they
But
try to copy it and it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have it's just not the same product.
what would you say? Well, I guess first a different question. What's your favorite thing about being on our particular team? I'll let you tell what our particular team is.
What I like about Rock On is I like the different personalities of the ladies. And there's some guys, but
Yeah.
I like and I've met some managers, some guy managers that I they live like in Florida. I'm on the West Coast, they're on the East Coast, and I love cheering them on. And they'll get messages back saying, "You know what? Your comment really made put a smile on my face today. I know I can go out and do that." I'm like, "I'm just being me. This is just me, you
Right.
know." And I love learning different things because if you're not learning, you're not growing,
Right.
and you have to be able to learn from other people
Yeah.
you know and you don't go into the grocery store and buy every single item off the shelf. You go in there and you pick and choose
Right.
you know so that's, I think, what I really like about our team. I like that you'll do training, you'll pick different people to train on a different topic or a different part of the business, or a new product that's coming out or something like that. I think that's great. So I'm learning every day.
Well, and I think that like one of the cool things about our team is that we've been very successful, and success breeds success, right?
Yes.
So what is my rule is if you're doing something great, then let's share it. Like let's tell each other. We can all be there's room for all of us to shine. There's so many, I don't even know how many millions of people there are in the US, but there's way more we're like an eyedropper in the ocean of how many of us that sell versus how many actual kitchens there are in the United States. There's room for everybody. And I always say that you find yourself closer to the top when you bring somebody with you. So like, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt anything to help your friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I would say last but certainly not least, if somebody was watching this and they're trolling us, right? So we get trolled, right? And I don't mean troll in a bad way. I mean troll like I think people watch us with like fascination, maybe a little fear, maybe intrigue, maybe, I mean, I know there's people that I had one girl sign up and told me she'd watched me for 4 years thinking about it. Never said a word to me for 4 years. I said, hold up. You've been watching me and thinking about this for 4 years and you've never said a word? And she was like, no. And I was like, why didn't you just like ask me some questions? Or like, I'm like, because questions always come with no strings attached. You can ask me and then say, no, you don't want to do it. Like, I'm not going to like hold you down with the, you know,
Exactly.
whip you with the wet noodle. Like, it's not going to be a thing. I'm like, but like, so there's probably people watching this right now that are very intrigued by us, right? They're listening, they're watching, they're thinking, but they haven't said 2 words to anybody, whoever it is that they're watching. I don't know. What would your advice be to that person? Like if they were watching this and they're intrigued, but they're afraid. They're usually they're afraid. I don't know what their fear exactly is. There's lots of fears, but like they're afraid to start. They're afraid to ask the question. They're afraid to whatever. Like, what would your advice be to them?
Jump in. Just jump in, both feet. Just go, you know what? I want to do this. I'm just going to do it. What can hurt? What give me 60 days to work with you.
Right.
Just give me the 60 days and let's get you going and making some money.
And I think if I mean, you nailed it with give me 60 days and actually work it like a business for 60 days
Yeah.
and see what you think, right? Like, not like, okay, I got some Tupperware and I'm letting it sit in the corner and I'm not doing anything with it. I'm not trying, but like literally follow my instructions for 60
Yeah.
days.
Be coachable.
We can build leaders pretty dang fast if they want to come in and want to work. Now, you can choose to work and want to do it really part-time and not be a leader, and that's okay too. Like, nobody's going to force you to do it. So
Exactly.
also that, because I have some people who are like, well, I don't want to do all those things. Okay, then don't.
Then don't.
I just want to hold a couple parties. Okay, then do that, right? You can do it at
Yeah.
whatever pace you want.
Yeah.
But if you want to make really good money, we know how to do that too.
Yeah. If you want to make the money, or if you just want some girlfriends and you just want somebody to talk to, I mean, I have to really, on my team, I'm building a business and I have to tell my team, if we're going to do coaching, we get 5 minutes of personal stuff,
Yeah.
and then we get 20 minutes of coaching,
Right.
because otherwise it'll go down for an hour of personal stuff.
Right. Because girls are fun, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then we just went down the rabbit hole in a whole nother thing instead of staying on topic.
Right.
So
But there's
I
no,
would just
there's
say, you
no,
just jump in.
there's no fear in giving it a try. Like, what have you got to
Exactly.
lose? What if, what some people say, what if I fail? I mean, but what is failing in this? Failing is just not trying, but like there's no harm in giving it a try. Like, nothing bad happens to you. If you try it and don't do anything, you just don't do anything, but you just didn't do anything.
Yeah, at the end of the 60 days, if you're making money,
Correct?
fantastic. If not, maybe you just made a new girlfriend.
Right.
It's you, it can be anything.
Yep.
But don't sign up and ghost.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
Right? Don't be that person.
You're like, why did you just throw money out the window?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get in and do something. Try it.
I
Try
agree.
it. You might like it.
I agree.
So yeah, that's it.
I think that's good advice. I like it. Well,
Perfect.
that concludes our Tup Talk for the day. Thank you, Lynn, for coming and talking with us. And we are sending all our Tupperware love out to you guys, and hope everybody has a fantastic day and they sparkle. Bye.